let's talk about that moment. The first time you get intimate with a man, that quiet, electric second where anticipation fills the air, where words fade and every look, every breath feels amplified. It's not just about two bodies coming together. It's about two energies meeting for the first time in their most honest form. You see, when the lights dim and vulnerability takes over, something deeper happens. A man starts noticing things you don't even realize you're showing him. Not your body, not your technique, but the way you make him feel in that space between heartbeats. Because intimacy, especially the first time, is like emotional truth serum. It reveals who you both are when the masks come off. He's not just noticing how you move, he's sensing whether you're truly there with him or lost somewhere behind self-conscious thoughts. He's feeling whether your touch says, I'm confident and connected, or I'm unsure if I'm enough. And the crazy thing is, he can't explain it. He just feels it. He walks away from that moment either feeling deeply drawn to you or slightly detached, not even knowing why. That's why this moment matters more than people realize. Because the first time you get intimate doesn't define the relationship, but it sets the tone for how he sees you, how safe he feels with you, and how emotionally magnetic you appear to him. Some women leave a man obsessed, not because they did something wild, but because they made him feel something real. So today, I want to share with you 5 things men notice the first time you get intimate and why getting Fate 2 right can completely shift the emotional connection between you. Because true attraction doesn't happen in the body, it happens in the energy. And once you understand that, everything changes. Before a single touch, before the first kiss, before the moment when you finally let him see you fully, the thing a man notices most is your energy. And I don't mean that in some abstract, mystical way. I mean the emotional temperature you carry into that moment, the tone of your presence, the way you make the space between you feel. Think about it. When two people meet, energy always speaks before words. In intimacy, that truth becomes 10 times louder. A man can feel whether your energy is nervous or grounded, guarded or open, tense or playful. He might not be able to articulate it, but his body will respond to it instinctively. If you're anxious, he'll feel a subtle pressure in the air. If you're at ease, that ease becomes contagious. It relaxes him, softens him, draws him closer. This is why so many women underestimate their own power. They focus on appearance, how they look, how they move, what they're doing. Right, but men are tuning into something much deeper. They're picking up on whether you own your energy, whether you've decided, I'm enough exactly as I am. Confidence in intimacy isn't about being loud or bold. It's about being present and comfortable in your skin. It's that quiet assurance that says, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to enjoy this moment with you. When you bring that kind of energy, everything shifts. Suddenly, you're not being observed. You're collaborating in the moment. You're not performing, you're sharing. And that's incredibly attractive. Because the truth is, men crave comfort just as much as they crave passion. A man might chase excitement, but he stays for peace. And when he feels that you are grounded, centered, and authentic, it gives him permission to relax too. It allows him to drop the mask of control and meet you with genuine connection. Your energy communicates boundaries without needing to say them. It tells him this is a space of mutual respect. It sets the tone for whether this moment becomes something beautiful or something forgettable. When your energy says, I'm in control of myself, but I'm open to you, he feels both safe and magnetically drawn in. And here's the secret, you can't fake that. You can't pretend to be relaxed while your mind is racing with thoughts like, does he think I look good? Am I doing this right? Is this too soon? That kind of overthinking takes you out of the present moment. And men can feel that distance instantly. Instead, practice presence. Breathe, feel, let go of the noise in your head and anchor yourself in the now. Notice the warmth of his skin, the rhythm of his breathing, the softness of the moment. The more connected you are to your own sensations, the more magnetic you become, because presence is rare. It's intimate, it's powerful. Men don't fall for the woman who tries to be perfect. They fall for the woman who makes them feel something real. When you bring the right energy into intimacy, confidence without arrogance, curiosity without fear, passion without pressure. You turn a physical moment into an emotional experience. He might not remember every detail of that night, but he'll remember how your energy made him feel safe, excited, seen. He'll remember the way your calm steadiness grounded the room. He'll remember the authenticity that made him trust you instantly. So before you ever think about what to do, focus on what to feel. Because the first thing a man notices isn't your body, it's your energy. And when your energy says, I'm enough, he won't just be drawn to your body, he'll be drawn to you. This is the one that changes everything. Because when a man touches you for the first time, what truly captivates him isn't how you touch him back. It's how you respond to being touched. That moment is like emotional electricity. It tells him whether this connection is just physical or something deeper. Men are incredibly attuned to energy in these moments, even if they don't consciously realize it. When he reaches for you, your hand, your face, your waist, he's not only testing chemistry, he's subconsciously asking, do I make her feel safe, desired, alive? And your body answers before your words do. When you tense up, pull away slightly, or hesitate too long, it sends a signal of uncertainty. Not rejection, but resistance. When you go too performative, trying too hard to appear sexy, trying to please, or copying something you think he wants, it tells him you're disconnected from yourself. But when your reaction is natural, when it's authentic, unforced, grounded in your own sensation, something powerful happens. He feels you being real. That's the kind of response that drives men wild, because it's not a performance, it's connection. It's the subtle breath when he touches your skin, the way your shoulders relax when you trust him, the quiet exhale that says, I'm here. I feel this too. You see, most people approach intimacy like choreography. They think it's about technique, rhythm, or impressing the other person. But real intimacy is communication without words. Your responses, how you move, how you breathe, how you receive, are your way of speaking back. They tell him, I'm open, I'm present, I'm not pretending. That's why emotional presence is so magnetic. A man might be attracted to your beauty, but he connects to your authenticity. When you allow yourself to feel rather than perform, it creates a current that makes him feel something he rarely experiences, emotional closeness within desire. And here's what's even more beautiful, your response teaches him how to connect with you. When you react with genuine softness, curiosity, or pleasure, you guide him wordlessly toward what feels right. Men love that. Not control, not dominance, but the subtle feminine guidance that says, yes, this feels real. When a man feels that level of truth, it changes the entire experience for him. He's not just focused on physical pleasure anymore. He's emotionally invested. He's thinking, she feels me. She's here with me. That's the kind of connection that makes him protective, captivated, and emotionally hooked. But here's the key. This kind of responsiveness doesn't come from trying to please him. It comes from being attuned to yourself. When you're in touch with your own sensations, your body becomes expressive. You naturally respond without overthinking, without forcing. You breathe, you move, you allow. And that permission you give yourself to feel is what pulls him deeper into the moment. Men can sense when a woman is connected to her own pleasure, her own confidence, her own body. That's not just attractive, it's intoxicating. Because it tells him she's not there to perform for him. She's there to share something with him. So don't overthink it. Don't try to get it right. The most captivating thing you can do is be present in your response. Let your body speak honestly. Let the silence between you say more than any words could. Because when your response is authentic, when it comes from a place of trust and connection, it's not just intimacy anymore. It's chemistry that lingers. It's the difference between being remembered for a night and being remembered forever. Presence, it sounds simple, but it's one of the rarest things to find in intimacy. Because true presence means being there, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, energetically. It's when you're not thinking about how you look, what's next, or whether you're doing it right. You're simply in the moment. You're feeling, not thinking, experiencing, not analyzing. And that kind of presence is magnetic. Because when you are fully there, he feels it. Every touch, every breath, every shift in energy becomes amplified. It's like time slows down. There's no performance, no pretending, just two people meeting in complete honesty. That's when intimacy becomes unforgettable. Men notice presence more than they could ever explain. They might not have the words for it, but they can feel when your mind drifts somewhere else. When you start worrying about how your stomach looks or whether he's impressed, Your energy pulls away from the moment. It creates a tiny emotional gap, one he can't name, but one he feels. He may still be there with you, but something about the connection suddenly feels less alive. On the other hand, when you are present, when you're fully immersed in the experience, he feels drawn in. He feels grounded in your calm. There's a rhythm to it. Your breathing syncs, your heartbeats align, and for a brief moment, the world outside disappears. That's what men crave, often without realizing it, the experience of being fully seen and fully feeling. Presence doesn't mean intensity. It doesn't mean you have to be wild or dramatic. It's about stillness. It's about surrender. It's that moment when you look at him and your eyes say, I'm here. You have my full attention. That silent acknowledgement melts away his defenses. He doesn't have to perform either. He doesn't have to get it right. He can just be. What most people miss is that presence creates safety, and safety creates passion. When a man feels your undivided attention, not judgmental, not pressured, but simply there, he relaxes, his energy opens up, he stops trying to impress you and starts feeling you. And in that emotional safety, desire grows naturally. Your presence also teaches him how to connect. If you're constantly in your head worrying or rushing, it tells him to stay surface level. But when you slow down, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to experience every second, it sends him a silent message. This is how you connect. This is how you feel. And without realizing it, he starts matching your pace. It's in the little things, holding eye contact a second longer, letting silence linger instead of filling it with nervous talk, moving with intention rather than hesitation. These are small, but they have a massive emotional impact. They tell him you're not just there for the act, you're there for the connection. And when a man feels that, he remembers it. Because it's rare. In a world where most people rush through intimacy like a checklist, being with someone who is fully present feels like oxygen. It's grounding, it's intoxicating. Presence isn't something you do, it's something you allow. You allow yourself to feel without controlling, to connect without fear, to be seen without hiding. You let the moment unfold instead of trying to manage it. And here's the truth: a woman who's present doesn't have to be perfect. She doesn't need to say the right thing, look flawless, or move like a movie scene. Her power comes from her stillness, from the peace she carries inside her. So the next time you find yourself in that intimate space, slow down, breathe, feel everything. Let your mind fall silent and let your body speak, because presence isn't just sexy, it's sacred. And when you give a man that kind of connection, he'll never forget how it felt to be with you. Here's something few people ever talk about: what happens after the intimacy. Because while most of us focus on what leads up to it, the attraction, the tension, the touch, the real truth of how a man sees you is often shaped by what happens when it's over. That quiet space after the rush, after the closeness, when the emotions are still hanging in the air, that's when your energy speaks the loudest. Men notice that moment more than you think. He's paying attention to how you are after everything slows down. Are you distant? Are you warm? Are you awkward or at ease? These tiny cues tell him everything about how safe and emotionally connected he can feel with you. Because here's what most don't realize: intimacy creates vulnerability, not just for you, but for him too. Even if he doesn't show it, even if he plays it cool, there's a softness that happens after that connection. And what you do in that space can either deepen the bond or quietly break it. When a woman becomes cold or detached right after, a man might interpret it as rejection, even if she didn't mean it that way. When she immediately pulls away, reaches for her phone, or acts like it meant nothing, it sends a signal that the intimacy was purely physical. And that's when he starts to emotionally withdraw. He might tell himself it was just fun, but deep down something feels unfinished. But when your energy remains soft, when you stay open, affectionate, playful, or simply present, it tells him the experience wasn't just physical, it was human. You're not clinging. You're not chasing, you're just being with him for a little longer. That creates emotional safety. It tells him, you can relax here. You can be yourself. This doesn't mean you have to cuddle for hours or make it romantic every time. It's about the energy you bring. Maybe it's a simple smile. Maybe it's the way you stay close for a few moments longer, or laugh softly when the world feels still. That ease, that feminine warmth creates something powerful: emotional continuity. And emotional continuity is what separates a fleeting encounter from an unforgettable one. It bridges the physical with the emotional. It tells him the connection didn't disappear the moment the passion ended. It evolved into something deeper. When you carry a calm, grounded energy after intimacy, It also communicates self-assurance. It says, I'm comfortable with what just happened. I know my worth and I'm at peace. That kind of emotional maturity is rare and it's incredibly attractive. It makes him see you as someone secure, someone he can trust, someone he wants to experience again. But when the energy shifts into neediness, when you start seeking reassurance, reading into every word, or fearing that he'll pull away, it changes how he perceives the connection. Men can feel that anxiety. It makes the space heavy and it turns what could have been intimacy into tension. So instead, carry peace. Bring that quiet confidence that says, I'm happy to have shared this with you, but I'm still whole on my own. That energy keeps you magnetic. It allows him to process his emotions without feeling pressured. And paradoxically, it's often what makes him want to stay longer. Because here's the secret: men crave the woman who can make them feel both desired and safe. The one whose energy after intimacy doesn't shift into insecurity or withdrawal, but remains grounded, feminine, and real. That's the kind of energy that lingers in a man's mind. It's what makes him replay the night, not just for the passion, but for the peace he felt in your presence. So remember, what happens after intimacy isn't the ending. It's the emotional echo that defines what the experience really meant. Be soft, be calm, be you. Because that energy, warm, open, and confident, is what turns a single moment into a lasting connection. Confidence after intimacy is one of the most powerful, yet misunderstood signals a woman can ever send. Because that moment after the quiet, tender, emotionally charged aftermath is when everything you believe about yourself subtly shows. It's when a man begins to understand what kind of woman he's just been with. Not based on what happened between you, but on how you hold yourself after it. You see, many women unknowingly give their power away right after intimacy. They start to question everything. Does he still like me? Was it too soon? Is he going to pull away now? That self-doubt shifts your energy instantly. What was once magnetic and grounded becomes anxious and uncertain. And a man feels that. He might not be able to explain it, but it changes how he emotionally reads you. Because confidence isn't just how you walk or talk. It's the energy of self-trust. It's the quiet knowing that says, what we shared was special, but it doesn't define my worth. When you carry that kind of energy, it communicates maturity, self-possession, and emotional strength. It tells him you're not seeking validation, you're simply allowing connection, and that makes you unforgettable. After intimacy, a confident woman doesn't suddenly shrink. She doesn't start analyzing his tone, his body language, or his next move. She stays steady, she stays present. Maybe she smiles, maybe she teases him playfully. Maybe she just breathes in the silence, content and grounded. Her energy says, I'm happy in this moment, but I don't lose myself in it. That balance is magnetic. Because men deep down are drawn to women who are emotionally self-contained, women who can be passionate without becoming dependent, loving without losing their center. When you carry yourself with that kind of quiet assurance, it tells him that what you shared wasn't about approval or fear, it was about choice. You chose to share yourself. You weren't swept up, you were intentional. And that's the energy of a high-value woman. It's the difference between, I hope he likes me, and I know what I bring to someone's life. When you hold that confidence, it also creates something unexpected: respect. He respects your boundaries without you needing to say them out loud. He feels that you value yourself enough not to chase or cling. And that paradoxically makes him want to pursue you more. Because men are instinctively drawn to women who are both open and grounded, who give affection freely but never lose themselves in the process. But here's the truth: most don't see confidence after intimacy isn't about pretending not to care. It's not about acting distant or detached. That's just another mask, an ego-driven form of protection. True confidence is calm, not cold. It's soft but steady. It's you knowing that whether this moment turns into something more or not, you'll still be okay. Because you weren't defined by it, you were enriched by it. When a man feels that energy from you, it stays with him. He remembers how you didn't spiral into overthinking, how your vibe remained graceful, feminine, and sure of itself. He remembers how you smiled at him like you weren't asking for anything, like you were just content being you. That memory plants something powerful in his mind: respect, admiration, and curiosity. He'll wonder how you're so at peace. He'll wonder why he feels so calm around you. He'll crave that energy again, not just for the physical closeness, but for how grounded he feels in your presence. Because men don't just desire confidence, they trust it. So after that moment, don't let fear or doubt rewrite the story. Hold your head high, breathe, smile. Know that you shared something beautiful, but your value doesn't depend on what happens next. Because the most captivating woman isn't the one who tries to prove she's special. It's the one who already knows she is and carries that truth quietly, confidently, even after the lights go out. So here's the truth most people miss. Intimacy isn't about perfection. It's not about performance or looking flawless or doing everything right. It's about presence. It's about how you make someone feel when all the layers are stripped away. Men, remember that. They might forget what you wore or what move you made, but they never forget the energy you brought into that moment. Did you show up with confidence and warmth? Did you make him feel safe enough to drop his guard? Did you let him see you, not just your body, but your heart? Because in the end, attraction built on physical spark fades. But attraction built on emotional connection only grows stronger. When you do these 5 things, when you bring energy, comfort, responsiveness, eye contact, and emotional warmth into intimacy, you become unforgettable. Not because you're trying to be, but because authenticity leaves a mark that no one can replicate. So the next time you find yourself in that vulnerable, beautiful space with someone, don't overthink it. Don't perform. Connect. Let it be real, let it be slow, let it be human, because that's what men truly crave, even if they don't say it out loud. A woman who doesn't just touch their body, but touches their soul. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, confidence isn't about how you look when you're intimate. It's about how deeply you're willing to be seen.